moving from plastic surgery to just kind of general medicine topic here. Sarah was surprised I didn't talk about this last week. I'm kind of surprised too. I just didn't think about it when I was doing segments last week. So we're going to do a segment on something that's been hitting the news for the past couple weeks, and that is the monkeypox. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it seems now whenever, since 2020 and the COVID pandemic, now when you hear about these new outbreaks, people actually like take note. I mean,
I've been getting like slammed with like monkeypox articles like, is this the new COVID?
I know, right?
And I'm like,
is it COVID again?
And I saw an Instagram post and a doctor is pretty much like, no, this is not a situation like this. Stop. Yeah. Like, I wish media outlets would stop like putting fear into people.
Fear sells, right? You know, people click on that kind of stuff. And so let me ask you guys, are you right now, before we even talk, do you have concern about monkeypox?
No.
Charles, monkeypox? Are you nervous about this?
Oh, yes.
You are?
Uh-huh. I don't want to get that. That is my biggest
I don't
concern.
want to get it either. When's the last time that they had a vaccine for that? I mean, I know they have a vaccine, but do you have to get it? Is it part of like your vaccine record?
Who, me? Like as a doctor?
No. As
like
just like a normal person.
Like monkeypox?
Yeah, monkeypox vaccine.
No, absolutely
not. I know there used to be one. I don't even think there's one. You don't have to get a smallpox vaccine
No,
anymore.
smallpox has been eradicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are good questions.
It's the one that puts that horrible scar on your arm, right?
Well, I think it was at the time.
Which one was that? Well, because my ex, he was in the military, and he has a scar just like my mom does when she was a little girl.
Oh, from like smallpox vaccine?
Because they still have to get that because I guess they get deployed.
Eradicated. I don't know.
I guess they get deployed in areas that could still have it. I don't know. They have to get.
Maybe. I thought smallpox was completely eradicated. I
thought monkeypox was too.
Well,
maybe it's eradicated in the United States.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, I don't think there's never been a case in the United States, to my knowledge, but you know, we talk about these outbreaks, and in the past, like they weren't always like I guess as worrisome as they are these days because of the pandemic we went through. I mean, we had swine flu in 2009. There was whooping cough and MERS COVID in 2012. What
makes me laugh? The swine flu.
Swine flu.
What year was that?
2009.
Dang, that was so long ago.
There was Ebola in 2014. That one actually got me nervous. Like when there was that case of Ebola in Dallas, I was like, okay, like what's my prepper plan here?
I just remember like all the time people, what year was that?
2014.
Yeah, I remember everybody was always be like, don't touch that, it could have Ebola.
Dude,
it was more of like I don't know. It was like,
let me just tell you,
you're gonna like turn into a
Ebola
zombie.
scares me. Like, I'm not a germaphobe, you know. Like, I think I told you guys a story about during the swine flu pandemic, my wife and I went on vacation in Mexico because that's where it originated and it was so cheap to fly. Like, I'm just not like worried about stuff like that. But like Ebola is no joke, man. I had to write a research paper in college. It was supposed to be a 30-page paper about some disease, and I picked Ebola. And like, it scared me, man. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen those movies about Ebola. Like, you start bleeding out of every hole and like, you like barf up your guts. I mean, this is bad stuff. And like some of them have like a mortality rate that's like insanely high, like 90% mortality rate.
Yeah. It has the same symptoms that they always give to people that turn into zombies. That's why everybody thought it was like a zombie thing. It's like when you turn into a zombie, you just like start like throwing up blood.
Throwing up blood and stuff. Yeah. I remember when Ebola hit, I was like, okay, where are we going to go if this like gets out of hand? I was like, we're getting out of this.
Underground.
Yeah, you have to go somewhere. Anyway, luckily Ebola didn't come to pass to be bad. Zika in 2016, and then of course, we had COVID. And then, I forgot about Zika. Yeah, Zika, right? And then...
isn't that from birds? Wasn't that from birds?
Was it mosquitoes?
Mosquitoes give you Zika.
Something that float around.
Yeah.
And that was pretty scary because there's so many mosquitoes here.
I know, right? I feel like we're in the war zone. But anyway, we always heard about those, but now after 2020, I think people really are more, I don't want to say scared, but more...
They have trauma.
Yeah, right? We're traumatized from like what happened. And so, when these things pop up, I think it's important to, be realistic about it and talk about them. So, monkeypox was just recently declared a health emergency of international concern by the World Health Organization. Mm-hmm. Now, this is not the first time that happened. There was an outbreak in 2022, and the World Health Organization said the same exact thing, like this is a big deal, but then it died out pretty quickly, and like everyone forgot about it. Well, there's currently a new outbreak going on in Africa, and is now spread to Europe. Sweden, I think, saw the first case.
I thought there was one in California now, isn't there?
That might be brand new. As of this week, I hadn't seen that there was one in the United States.
there
Travis,
was.
do you know? Is there monkeypox in the United States yet?
I am researching it now. I haven't heard that one.
He's like, I gotta know.
What does Google say?
I swear that I saw a post about it there was a case in California.
The only case that I saw outside of Africa so far was Europe.
Yeah.
But
I could be,
I mean, regardless, I think, when you have these potential outbreaks, it's important to know about it, right? The more you know, like hopefully the less you can be worried about something.
I think people just need to know the actual number facts, like what is considered an outbreak, what's considered a pandemic, an endemic, or those things.
That's good. Do you know those specific numbers?
No, but I know that there are numbers that apply to that because I did take epidemiology.
Did you?
Yes.
I don't know them off the top of my head either.
That was like 12 years ago.
It's been a while. You're digging deep. So I just want to kind of answer these questions. What is monkeypox, and is it a threat to America, or is it a threat to the world? So monkeypox actually was renamed in 2022 to Mpox, but apparently it goes by both names. In fact, when you do Google search,
is that its rap name? Mpox? Like, why does it matter if
it's something about they don't want to stigmatize a region or something. Like they're very careful about naming things these days. And so, but it kind of goes by both. So this virus is in the same family as smallpox, which that's kind of scary, right? I mean, smallpox killed
Is it similar to, is chickenpox a part of that same kind of virus?
I believe so.
Because they're both considered herpes viruses, right?
No, I think you're thinking of herpes zoster. Is that different?
Is that chickenpox?
No,
because herpes.
That's varicella.
Because chickenpox is considered a herpes virus.
It's different than that. It's like optopox or orthopox or something. Is like the family, and I think that's different than the varicella, which is chickenpox. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's right. But it is in the same family as smallpox, which obviously is concerning. Smallpox killed 500 million people, during its few hundred year run, including kings and heads of state. Fortunately, monkeypox or Mpox is, although the symptoms are very similar to smallpox, it's much, much less dangerous. Yeah. So that's the first thing to kind of know.
So you're not going to people probably can die, but it's more treatable.
Correct.
In the right environments.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. After someone's infected, the symptoms at first are kind of constitutional, meaning that you don't get the blisters right away. Includes things like fever, headache, muscle pain, fatigue, and swollen lymph nodes. And then that's followed by this rash of pustules, which can be anywhere from a few to thousands. There's a picture, Charles, throw that one up there if you would, of the monkeypox. Yep, that looks bad. I agree, Travis. I do not want that anywhere on my body.
Exactly why I don't want
especially because it's prone to affect the face, mouth, groin, genitals, and then the hands and feet. So that's pretty bad. And those little things start out, they have a pattern to them. They start out here, go to that next picture, I'll just kind of show the pattern of this. Yeah, they start out as little macules, which are basically just red dots on the skin, then they raise up into papules, and then become vesicles, which are fluid-filled, and then they become pustules, which are pus-filled, and then they eventually rupture, and you're left with all these scabs, which can be, potentially disfiguring, if they're significant enough. Yeah, I know. You don't want this. So this disease is spread by contact. So that could be physical contact, shake hands, or sexual contact is the other way.
Yeah, if you said to be around the genitals.
Yep, absolutely.
That's a rough situation.
You do not want that. You thought herpes was bad, man. You had monkeypox on your genitals. That's bad news, right?
God.
It can also have some transmission via airborne particles, although that's not the most common way that it's transmitted. But the interesting thing about this, going back to the direct contact, for example, if I have Mpox and I'm wearing clothes, and then you were to put on my clothes, you can get it from clothes or bedding, which means that it is possible to transmit it via, they call that fomites. So fomite is just an object. You remember that from epidemiology, fomite?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I understand.
Okay, gotcha.
I understand from insinuation.
It also can be spread from animals to humans and vice versa. So like if your dog gets monkeypox somehow and comes up and jumps in bed with you, like
how sad.
I know, right? You have to
I
put old
wouldn't
Yeller
give that
down.
to my dog, man.
You feel bad if you gave your dog monkeypox?
Yeah. That'd be horrible.
That would be bad. So severity, right? So the severity does vary widely. Most of the time, this resolves on its own without making people really sick. However, there are certain people that are more at risk to get a severe form of this. So that'd be like very young people, very elderly people, people who are immunocompromised. And the mortality rate, this is like a little bit unsettling. It says it's from 0.1% to 10%. But it depends very, very heavily on the patient, like meaning, are they immunocompromised or like very frail, and then the level of care that they can receive. But interestingly enough, like there's not, it's kind of like, other viruses where there's not like it's not like you take an antibiotic and it goes away. Mostly it's supportive therapy, like you take, fever medication, pain medication. There are antivirals out there that can shorten the duration of it. And then caring for the pustules because they can create wounds and whatnot.
Yeah,
so it's
I wonder if it like doesn't spread as much as if like you obviously you don't share your clothes, but if you're wearing like wrapping stuff
like
around.
a leper wrap, like the lepers
yeah.
wore.
So it's like people aren't touching you or like you just seclude yourself.
Well, and part of the problem is that if I remember correctly, you can transmit it prior to getting those like the rashes on you and stuff. So
just like any other virus,
just like
I
any
guess.
virus, like you can spread it before it like really becomes apparent. And there is a vaccine for this. It's related to the smallpox vaccine, but there's not a lot of it out there. Like it's not like they have stores of this stuff. So it comes back to the question of is smallpox like a big threat? I mean, probably not. Like most of the experts are saying that this is not like a big risk to become anything significant. And if you do get it in a developed country, like your risk of like having some severe case where you die from it is exceedingly rare.
Yeah.
So it would be mostly like really kind of already very sick people that would be at risk. So it's something that most of the experts are saying something to keep on the radar. It's like, okay, let's just watch the cases, but do we need to start prepping for the next big pandemic? Yeah, probably not. So
they better not.
Yeah, I'm done with pandemic. I don't want to see another pandemic in my lifetime.
I'm like, how some people are like more like, I guess with this situation, they're more like hyper vigilant. Like they're like really like sketched out by anything, kind of like they're super scared about monkeypox for no real reason. But to me, I'm kind of like numb to it. I'm like, ugh, whatever.
I know, right? So you get burnout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's like two sides of that.
So just to summarize this segment, so today we were talking about monkeypox. It's been all over the news because the World Health Organization just stated that monkeypox is a international concern at this time due to an outbreak in Africa that now has spread to Europe. So what is monkeypox? It's actually a virus in the same family as smallpox, which is a little concerning because smallpox killed about 500 million people in the 1700s. However, monkeypox is not nearly as severe as smallpox, thankfully, although the symptoms are kind of similar. People start out with fever, headache, joint pain, fatigue, swollen lymph nodes, and then go on to develop these pustules on their body, which is like to be on the hands, the feet, the genitals, the face, the eyes. Fortunately, most people resolve without a very severe case of this. The mortality rate is overall very low, especially in developed countries. And most experts are saying that although this is something we need to keep on our radar, it's not something that seems to be a big threat to us in the United States right now. So, monkeypox.
Yeah, protect those genitals.
Absolutely, man. I do not want to get those things on my genitals. That would be bad. That would be so bad.
No pustules.
Oh, man, that would be rough. That would be real rough.